If you feel like your body suddenly reacts to foods that are supposedly healthy, like you eat a salad and you feel bloated, or you add more vegetables and you feel worse, or you try to clean up your diet and your digestion actually gets harder, this is the part most women don't understand. It's not the food, it's your body's ability to handle the food. And once you understand that, this starts to make a lot more sense. Hey, beautiful, it's Claudine, functional health practitioner and author of Your Midlife Body Code. If you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell. And if you want help figuring out which system in your body needs the most support right now, you can take my Midlife Body Code quiz below. So let's get into this. This is one of the most frustrating patterns I see because it feels like you're doing everything right. You're choosing whole foods, you're eating more vegetables, you're trying to take care of your body, but instead of feeling better, you feel worse. So naturally, your brain goes to maybe it's the food, maybe I have sensitivities, maybe I need to eliminate more. And this is where a lot of women start removing more and more foods without actually solving a problem. So, what's actually happening? Here's the thing: digestion is not passive, it is an active, very energy dependent process because your body needs to produce stomach acid, release digestive enzymes, move food through at the right pace, maintain a gut lining that can tolerate all the things you're eating. And all of that requires energy, coordination, and a regulated nervous system. And this is also where midlife starts to matter because as estrogen starts to decline, your body becomes less resilient. Okay, so estrogen isn't just a reproductive hormone. It helps maintain the gut lining. It plays a role in regulating inflammation and it supports how your body responds to stress. So, as these levels shift, your system becomes more sensitive. So, this can look like more reactivity to foods, more inflammation in the gut, more susceptibility to what we call leaky gut, and a much lower tolerance for stress overall. So, now you have this loop. Stress impacts the gut becomes more reactive, and that creates even more stress on the body. And that's the cycle many women get stuck in. This is what I talk about in my book as the hormone gut nervous system loop. And when one side gets thrown off, the others follow. And that's where symptoms start to show up. Now, let's look at what that actually means for digestion, because this is where things start to show up in a very real way. Here's what it looks like. Your stomach needs enough acid to break down food properly. If that doesn't happen, food doesn't get fully digested. Then your pancreas needs to release digestive enzymes. Your small intestine needs to absorb nutrients, and your gut lining needs to tolerate all these things that are coming through. That's a lot of steps because when any part of that slows down, the whole system starts to back up. Back up, right? And that's when you start to feel heavier after meals, more bloated, more reactive to foods that used to feel fine. So when your body is already under strain, digestion is one of the first things to take a hit. And that's where this connects directly to what we talked about last week. It ties to that burnout pattern we discussed. Remember that low sodium plus low potassium. That doesn't just affect energy, it affects your nervous system. And your nervous system determines whether your body is in a state where it can digest or just get through the day. So if your system is under-resourced, your digestion will reflect that. Now, why does this turn into bloating? Okay, so let's bring this back to what you're experiencing day to day. You eat something like a salad or vegetables or fiber-rich foods, and instead of breaking down efficiently, that food sits, it ferments, gas builds. That's the bloating. So again, not random and not because food is bad, but because your body doesn't currently have the ability to respond to it properly. And that's why doing more often makes things worse. So let me show you how this usually plays out in real life. This is the woman who finally decides, I'm going to clean things up. She starts eating more vegetables, more whole foods, less processed food. She's doing everything right. And within a few weeks, she feels worse, more bloated, more uncomfortable, more aware of her digestion than ever before. And now it feels like, why is eating healthy making me feel worse? So she starts removing things, right? First gluten, then dairy, then certain vegetables until her diet becomes smaller and smaller. And still she doesn't feel better. That's not a food problem, it's a system problem. And this isn't just theoretical. I saw this play out personally. Last week, I shared how I used peptides when I broke my ankle, initially for tissue repair and inflammation. But one of the unexpected things I noticed was how much calmer my gut felt. And at the time, I didn't fully connect the dots, but now I understand exactly why that happened. And this is where things start to shift from understanding the problem to actually repairing it. Because when the gut lining is irritated or inflamed, even healthy food can feel like a problem. This is when more targeted tools like peptides start to make sense. For example, BPC 157 supports repair of the gut lining. KPV helps calm inflammation and immune response in the gut. And then you have something like TB 500, which works more systemically to support tissue repair and reduce inflammation throughout the body. So instead of just trying to avoid foods, you're actually helping your body repair the environment that's reacting to those foods in the first place. But, and this is where people often get it wrong, these only work well when your body has the ability to respond to them. Because if your system is still overwhelmed, it won't fully utilize what you're giving it. So, if this is happening for you, here's where I start. And the key here is the order, because if you skip steps, you'll keep running into the same problem, okay? So number one, don't immediately remove all healthy foods unless you've run a practitioner grade MRT food sensitivity panel, which would tell you if specific foods are causing inflammation. Because the goal is not restriction, it's rebuilding how your body functions. When you start removing more and more foods without fixing the underlying issue, you just end up more restricted, not better. Number two is make foods easier to digest. So instead of asking your body to do more, make the job easier. This can look like choosing cooked foods instead of raw ones. It can also look like chewing your food thoroughly, even more than you think you need to, right? Step up the process or start the process early for your stomach. And eating without distractions so your body actually stays in a state where it can digest. These small things make a bigger difference than most people realize. Now, keep in mind, this isn't forever. It's just reducing the demand on your system while you rebuild. Number three is to support your nervous system, because digestion only works well when your body is in a state where it can actually process food, right? If your system is constantly in go mode, digestion is going to take a back seat. You don't need to digest when you're in go mode. If you're not sure where to start with that, you can watch last week's video or grab my stress busting breath guide, which I'll link below. Even a few minutes a day can start to shift this. Number four is to rebuild mineral status. This is foundational. If sodium and potassium are low, your body will continue to struggle with digestion. One simple place to start with this is something like an adrenal cocktail. I typically have clients try this recipe. Are you ready? It's a 1/4 teaspoon Celtic salt, a 1/4 teaspoon cream of tartar, a juice of half a lemon in 4 cups of water, and you can do that once or twice a day. And then pay attention to how you feel. Because again, we're not guessing, we're observing how your body responds. And then number 5 is to layer in targeted support. This is where most people start, but it's actually the last step. Once your body is more supported, this is where things like digestive enzymes or gut lining support based on gut testing like the GI map and gut repairing peptides can actually make a real difference. And to recap, BPC 157 can help repair the gut lining. KPV can help calm inflammation in the gut. TB 500 can support overall repair and reduce inflammation system-wide. But here's where people get stuck. They start here before the body is ready. And when that happens, one of two things usually occurs. Either A, they don't notice much of a difference, or B, they feel worse and assume the product isn't working. In reality, their body just isn't able to use that support yet. Because if digestion is already struggling, we know minerals are depleted and the nervous system is dysregulated, because the body is just focusing on getting through the day, not repairing, which means anything you take is going toward survival, not repair. So instead of jumping to stronger tools, the goal is to support your minerals and your nervous system first, so those tools can actually work the way they're supposed to. If you're not sure how to do that yet, go back and watch my last 2 videos. That's where I break it down. So here's the bottom line. If healthy food suddenly makes you feel worse, It's not the food. It's that your body isn't in a place where it can handle it right now. And you can keep trying to fix that by removing more foods or adding more supplements, but you're just going to stay stuck in that same cycle because the issue isn't what you're eating, it's how your body is functioning. And this is also exactly why I've started incorporating peptide support into my client protocols. Because for some women, the foundation isn't enough on its own. They need something that helps their body actually respond again. And that's where this becomes really powerful. So the goal isn't to do more, it's to do things in the right order. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but why isn't my body responding? That's exactly what my Midlife Body Code quiz helps you understand. So take it below. It will show you where your body is right now and why it's not responding the way you expect. I'll see you next time.